So one last question, sir.
This was going back to PR and marketing, because you mentioned that a little bit earlier. First off, would you be interested in taking a slightly more evangelistic role within the company? Because, yes, you are a single person, you are in the minority, so to speak, but when you talk, it does have a lot of effect, because basically, a stone in a pond produces a lot of ripples. The second thing that ties along with that is, on the marketing side, going to print, that makes sense, and going to get the writers to write stories and to back things up will have a very positive effect, and that's correct. But the marketing side of the house seems to not be in sync with everything else, and in particular, certain marketing agencies. What would it take for Apple to work with a marketing agency that has a vested interest in making things successful? Personally speaking, I don't feel that the present marketing organization, and this is not talking about Guerno, this is more the marketing, the other marketing agencies that work with Apple. I don't think they have Apple's best interests at heart, because they're not hungry. They have no drive. They have no reason of saying, hey, we got to make this thing fly, because if we don't, we die along with them.
Right. Well, let me answer both of those questions in reverse order. I think Apple needs to be working with really great agencies. I don't care if they're hungry or if they're not. I don't care if they're West Coast or East Coast. They just need to be great, because the results need to be great. Our customers aren't going to measure us on how hard people tried or how hungry they were. They're going to measure us on what they see. So they need to be great. And I agree with you. I don't think 100% of the people Apple's working with are great. And I think the person running marketing, Guerino DeLuca, is really good, and he knows that, and he is working through those things in a priority list. And he's starting with the most important ones and working his way down. So I think your point of view is absolutely shared. And it will take a few more months to see some of those things happen, and probably a few more months after that to get results, because there are more important things that need to be done and are being done. In terms of my role, when Apple bought Next, Gil asked me to be an advisor to him, and I agreed to do that until he told me to go away, or I decided he wasn't listening to me. And neither of those has occurred. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity and like working with him on strategic issues. The area where I really concentrated my energy over the last several months has been to help Gil re-architect the organization of the company and his senior lieutenants. And so the company went from being a very divisionally oriented company with a zillion P&L centers, and it was very complicated, to a very simple organization now. It's very functionally organized. Avi Tavanian came in, and he's running all of software now, and I think Avi's really first rate. I think he's one of the best software executives on the planet. I think he's doing a really good job. John Rubenstein came in to run hardware, and I feel exactly, I talked a little bit about John earlier. He is tops. Guerino DeLuca is running marketing. He'd previously run Claris, and I think he's doing a very fine job. Fred Anderson, the CFO, is top-notch. And the rest of the team as well, manufacturing, et cetera, is very, very good. So I feel like the team that can execute Gil's plans is pretty strong. And they're working well together as a team. And to me, that's the high-order bit. It's not going around giving speeches and things like that, because Apple's problem has been not a lack of air volume coming out of Apple. It's been a lack of execution. It's been a lack of good management. It's just the basic stuff. And I think the basics are getting put in place. And to a large extent, they're already put in place. And that's filtering down, through the organization. And I think that you're going to, results don't happen overnight. But I think they are starting to happen already. Some of the newer products, I think, are good. And I think, by the end of this year, it's going to be much clearer that things are going like this. So my suggestion to you is don't get freaked out by Microsoft any more than we were freaked out by IBM when we started Apple. even though you may not fully see it, there has been a sea change at Apple in the management of the company, and there are some very strong people running the functional organizations. I think that I have a lot of confidence in the senior team of the company to execute, and I think they're going to. And I think that the move to Rhapsody represents a very discontinuous opportunity for software developers to compete and to make some really great products. And Rhapsody is going to run on everything from PCs to the new Macs to even the old Mac OS. And I think there's a tremendous opportunity to embrace this new stuff. So if I were you, what I would do is go out and buy any box that runs Rhapsody and start taking a look at it and start developing some code on it. And I think you're going to be blown away. And I think that there's an opportunity to make some really wonderful apps, and that this customer base that we have of a few tens of millions of people can really start to zoom ahead of the rest of the whole industry in what they can do, the capabilities they have, the experience they have, and the fun that they have. And a lot of it's going to be up to you, and I really hope that you embrace this as much as the team at Apple is, because we have a chance to do something really good. And I really appreciate the chance to come hear some of your questions and hopefully answer some of them and have a chance to be with you here today. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much to Steve for that. That was great.